Getting on your knees and blowing leads is not ideal for a baseball team trying to win baseball games. Closers are supposed to be the cherries on top, not cherries getting popped to lose your virility. What would you think I was going to say? Any late game reliever is supposed to be doing that, and the Dodgers bullpen hasn't. Now, I get it, complaining about a Dodger problem seems bougie. Like, imagine a Dodger fan trying to complain to a Rockies fan. That's like Jeff Bezos complaining to some Chinese kid in a sweatshop. Read the room, idiot. But I will not be reading the room today. I'm going to talk about a Dodger problem because they really do have one. Also, let's not act like any of us are going to be seeing a Rockies winning season in our lifetimes anyway, so no reason to waste any breath right now on a team that loses before the national anthem even ends. For the last several years, the Dodgers bullpen has had a pretty big shift from the way it used to be. Not that they haven't had good relievers, they've had several good ones, but they haven't had that lockdown closer. That one guy who that's his role. He's the anti-cherry popper. He comes in, you know that cherry's getting put on top. And for years, that was Kenley Jansen. No matter what, if it was the ninth inning at Dodger Stadium and the Dodgers were up and it wasn't a blowout, you better bet your sweet little ass California Love will be playing as Kenley Jansen trots out of the bullpen to lock it down. That was the case for like a decade, and ever since he's been gone, the Dodger bullpen hasn't been a disaster. Obviously, they've only had 100+ win seasons and a championship since, but the bullpen hasn't had that set guy. In 2022, the Dodgers reliever with the most saves was Craig Kimbrell, who had an ERA near 4. After that, Evan Phillips took over in that role for the next 2 years, although last year it was relatively split. He led the team in saves last year, but it was similar to Kimbrell in 2022, where he wasn't that lights out. His ERA was over 3.5, which isn't good for a closer. He had 18 saves, but 10 other relievers combined for about 30 saves. And that's not necessarily a bad thing to have, a closer by committee situation, where on any given day you can have anyone close based off how much the other guys have been used lately. I don't know, maybe matchups, whatever. There's no one-size-fits-all strategy. Although there is a one-size-fits-all strategy to getting tickets to see this stuff play out. We're in the thick of the baseball season now, which means it's the perfect time to talk about getting tickets to go to games, and that's where SeatGeek comes in to help you out. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app with over 28 million downloads. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. And they always make it really easy to see which seats are the most ideal to get. SeatGeek holds your hand through this with a scale of 1 to 10 so you know if there's a good deal or not. Green is for the good deals, red is for the bad deals. And this is where I come in, as you can get 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek by using code iTALK10. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code iTALK10. Make sure you click the link in the description or the pinned comment to download the app. Now back to the video. So yeah, last year literally ended in a championship, so clearly not having a set closer like vintage Kenley was fine. But this year's been an issue, despite the fact on paper it actually should be a better bullpen than it was last year. Over the offseason, the Dodgers signed 2 relievers that made everyone, well, every non-Dodger fan have an aneurysm because it seemed unfair. They signed Tanner Scott, who had a 1.75 ERA last year in Miami and San Diego, and then Kirby Yates, who had a 1.17 ERA last year in Texas. Elite relievers in 2024. They haven't been elite in 2025. Tanner Scott's been getting slapped left and right, Yates too, while also getting hurt and on the injured list. Let's go over a few games that show how ineffective these two have been so far. Something that has cost the Dodgers wins that they had in the palm of their hands. Go to Texas, where Yates was last year. Dodgers up 3-2. He has the first hitter, Josh Smith, in an 0-2 hole. Perfect time to throw something off the plate. Instead, he hangs a splitter for Smith to nail into the left field corner for a double. Up comes Adolis Garcia, who makes this 93-mile-an-hour fastball look like the most hittable pitch on the planet. I mean, just absolutely annihilated. Yates can't record a single out, Rangers walk it off. His latest outing against the Angels. Game's a slugfest. Yates comes in the 7th to try and keep the Dodgers ahead, only to hold a 1-run lead, as well as DJ Khaled holds his weight. Again, that 93-mile-an-hour fastball up just gets smoked, thankfully just for a single now instead of a home run. The home run comes later. Like 2 minutes later, on another high 93-mile-an-hour hittable fastball that Logan O'Hoppe shoots out over the right field wall. Now, mind you, both of these hard hits came on 2 strikes. And remember, he did the same thing to Smith. He had him 0-2. Now to Soler, 2-2. O'Hoppe, 2-2. He can't put these guys away. Next hitter, Rendifo, 1-2 count. Another guy on 2 strikes. What does he do? He smokes a high 93-mile-an-hour fastball for a double. 2 hitters later, Joe Adell, he immediately gets ahead of him 0-2, only to follow that up with 4 straight balls not not even close, which, hey, I mean, anything over the plate was getting crushed. So nothing's going right. He throws it over the plate. He gets walloped. He doesn't. He walks guys, then starts to feel his hamstring, aka I gotta leave this game because I'm hurt, not because I'm getting rocked. No, I'm sure there's something wrong with his hamstring. I'm not that big of an asshole. So hours later, Yates was put on the injured list. Tanner Scott, somehow worse overall. He's been healthy, just getting crushed. Back in March, which now feels like 5 years ago, he had 3 straight appearances giving up a run. 2 against the Tigers and then 1 against Atlanta. Then he was very good, at least for the most part, from April 1st through May 17th. There was 1 appearance where the Cubs just had Wrigley Magic on their side. With 2 outs and nobody on, Miguel Amaya sends 1 into the basket. But overall in these 17 games, he was lights out. Then came his attempt to close a game against the D-Bags, and yeah. Gabriel Moreno, a Dodger killer, comes up with 1 out in the 9th. D-Bags haven't scored all game, well, not anymore, after he swats this 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Tanner Scott a mile high and into the straightaway left field seats. Tie game. 10th inning, Scott stays in the game, this time to face Corbin Carroll, who seems like the perfect matchup if you're the Dodgers. If you want anyone facing Carroll, as good as he is, have it be a hard-throwing lefty. Carroll says, your hard-throwing lefty, as he sends a 98-mile-an-hour fastball into the bleachers, straight shot. Dodgers still ended up winning this game. Talk about bullpen problems. The D-Bags bullpen may deserve a whole nother video on its own. But yeah, just shows how much the Dodgers are able to get away with, partly because of how stacked they are and how bad the D-Bags bullpen also is. But scary showing from Scott out there. It somehow has gotten a lot worse. Now against the Mets, he comes in with a 3-run cushion. So 1 run against the D-Bags, he imploded. How about 3 runs? Can you do that?
No.
Base hit by 50-year-old Starling Marte. He gets Soto to pop out. That was his 1 out because of course it was. Pete Alonso, he has him 3-2, walks him. It's just like the Kirby Yates problem. When they're really struggling, these guys get to 2 strike counts. They just do anything but put them away. First and second, nobody out. Starts out with 2 balls to Jeff McNeil, lefty-lefty matchup, but then quickly gets back in the count and gets 2 strikes. Goes back in with a fastball, gets hit, not even crazy hard, but hard enough to get into the corner for a triple. It's 5-4. Tyrone Taylor comes up like clockwork. Strike 1, strike 2. He has him on 2 strikes. Can he put the hitter away? Of course he can't. Takes the 3rd slider of the at-bat into left for a game-tying single. Dodgers won this game too, which again, it's funny. Just like the D-Bags game, Scott gets bailed out. But here's the lesson. Fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 3 times, I think. I don't fully know how it goes, but you get what I'm trying to say. Scott this time comes back out now against Cleveland with a 2-run lead. He looks back at what he did against Arizona, then sees how things got even worse in New York, scoffs, and says, "Watch what I can do!" He did throw a scoreless outing 2 days before this. Gave up a hit, wasn't a clean inning, but no runs scored. Now back at it with a 2-run lead in the 8th inning. First hitter up, Jhonkensy Noel and his 151 batting average. And like it's Groundhog Day, gets Noel on 2 strikes. Perfect guy to strike out. He's hitting 151. But nope, he makes contact and gets on base. Next hitter up, the man with the least creative parents in baseball when it comes to picking names, Will Wilson. Scott gets 2 strikes on him, and what happens? He gets on base. 2 on, nobody out. Daniel Sheeman, he gets 2 strikes on him. Ball 4, bases loaded. He actually strikes Austin Hedges out on 3 pitches, but you might as well throw a Make-A-Wish kid out there. Nice job on getting the 1 free out. But next up, Nolan Jones. He has him on 2 strikes, and all of you watching, just say it with me at this point. And what does he do? He makes contact. Base hit, left field, tie game. Scott gets pulled, so the game is saved, right? No, Alex Vesia comes in and on a 2-0 count throws a 91-mile-an-hour fastball right over the plate. What can go wrong? 3-run bomb. Guardians lead, they win the game. And as bad as Scott and Yates have been overall, it's also a culmination of what happens when injuries pile up and other guys just don't get it done. Yates, for example, I still think he has what it takes. Tanner Scott, same thing, as bad as it's been looking. All of these guys do. The problem is the bullpen in general is a very fringe position to begin with. You can't expect any reliever to be lights out every year. It's the most bipolar position in baseball. Kirby Yates, as good as he was last year and as good as some of his stuff has looked this year, even with the struggles, like his strikeout rate is really high. He's 38 years old. Are you really going to count that much on him? Maybe here and there, but you can't put a lot on him. You have all these injuries to the starting rotation. Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Roki Sasaki. That means starters not going as deep into games, which means more stress on the bullpen arms, which means you're asking for disasters like this to happen. If anyone can get away with issues like this, it's obviously the Dodgers. But the question is, how long can that be possible? Regardless of how much potential some of these bullpen arms have, it's a bullpen that needs help. Whether that's the rotation being stronger or more bullpen arms, it needs help, and it'll be interesting to see how this continues. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.